Good morning. It is 10 a.m. on Tuesday, November 4th, 2025. Call this meeting of the Wichita County Commissioners Court to order. If everyone would please stand, Commissioner Watts will give our invocation.
Pray with me, please. Dear Heavenly Father, we just thank you today for the many blessings you give to us each and every day, Father. We thank you most importantly for the gift of your Son, Jesus Christ, who died on the cross for our sins so that we can have the assurance of salvation, Father. Thank you. Be with us today as we conduct the business of this court, Father. Let us make decisions that are pleasing to you. Let us do right by the citizens of Wichita County. Father, be with our county family. Protect them. Watch over them. Be with those abroad that keep us safe and protected, Father. Watch over all of these, I pray, this morning. In Jesus' precious name, amen.
Amen. Amen. Join us for the pledge to the U.S. flag.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And now the pledge to the Texas flag.
Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Thank you. Everyone may be seated. No last minute presentations? All right. Well, it is currently 10:02. We will open up for public comments. Remind everyone, comments need to be limited to 5 minutes or less. Commissioners Court cannot take action on any item brought up during public comments. Do we have any public comments this morning?
Remind everyone that it's vote day. It's election day, and it's need to get out there and get those votes cast. And we have a election location here at the courthouse.
And if you
get online, and you can.
The Wichita County website, the elections page has a full list of times and locations for all of the election day locations.
And it wasn't busy this morning. So
It wasn't good. That's
It's getting there.
easy to get in and out of.
Yeah, I bet it'll pick up as later in the morning.
Yeah, there were good line when I came up just
There was a line down there this morning.
a few minutes ago. There's
You
lots
know,
of people.
This being you took my thunder about elections, but this is, the amendments, a lot of people think there's nothing to it. There's a lot of important amendments on there that really affect everybody. So people need to pay attention to what's going on in elections and get out and vote.
They're easy
That's
to
right.
read and easy to understand, so I think you can form an opinion real good by reading the ballot.
I've got an announcement, just making sure everyone knows. Next week, courthouse will be closed on Tuesday for Veterans Day. So Commissioners Court will meet on Monday next week, 10 a.m. in here. But Commissioners Court will be Monday next week. Any other public comments this morning?
I got one.
Yes, sir.
Saturday, this past area area District 3B marching band competition. Iowa Park placed number 5 in the area, which was fantastic. It's the highest we've ever placed. Been watching them for 4 years because my daughter's in the band, and it was the best performance in finals that they've ever put on.
Wow.
They were pretty amazing. There happened to be 4 teams that were just also amazing and a little bit higher scoring. And 2 of those were City View and Holiday. So
Wow.
the immediate area is well represented down there. So.
That's great.
And Stephen, who our band director currently?
In Iowa Park, Dr. Charlie Bradbury.
Okay, so that's Sue's boy, right?
Yeah, that's Dr. Bradbury.
Yeah, he doesn't like it if you don't throw the doctor in there. He worked hard for that.
We're required to pay a lot of money for that.
Yeah, and honestly, he's done an amazing job with them, not just this year, but every year. And
They were talented. All of those kids were talented, so that's great.
mhm. And as my daughter's a senior, as her last performance in color guard and marching band competition, and for them to put on the best show they've done, it was really meaningful for them because they get to experience going out on a high.
Yeah.
They just missed the cutoff for state, but they still performed amazing. So
As good as that performance was, for them to be fifth, that tells you the level of
Yeah.
competition.
The competition was really good. Any of the top 6 could have, really the top 10 could have made it. It was really close.
Well, good. Thank you for sharing that. All right, any other public comment this morning? All right, it is 10:05, and we will close public comment and move along to the consent agenda. There are 9 items in the consent agenda this morning. Does anyone have any questions or comments on any of the items?
Judge, I had a question on item 8, the debt books. I didn't quite know what that was.
Matt, will you speak to that?
So the Gatsby pronouncements that contain leases and subscriptions, that software, we input the subscription into that. So we input the type of lease and everything that goes with it, and it creates an amortization schedule. That is then created and goes into the financial statements at the end of each year. The price, obviously, a little high. We are looking at alternative solutions for that. We have an Act for Builder that we're paying about $6,000 a year for with the Munis system, and we're looking at a more robust Act for Builder, and it would also contain this type of stuff and would be it would probably be a little bit more expensive, but it would be all integrated, whereas right now we're operating out of 3 different softwares and then putting it into a spreadsheet and then putting that into a Word publisher document and then putting it, so.
So this holds both money we owe as well as money owed to us?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Matt's side job right now is vendor reviewer, because they're looking at a lot of different things right now to try to see what is most value, what adds the most value, and what we've been using and what we could be using. Any other questions?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Can I ask real quick?
Yes, sir.
Matt, for you on removing Cheryl and adding you to First National,
Yes, sir.
I had thought we'd done that, but is my recollection when we put Cheryl and me on there, we also had Corey. Has Corey been removed as well?
Corey has not been
We
removed.
m-
Karen had reached out and said that Cheryl was still on there.
Okay.
So we just need to remove
I don't-
Cheryl, but-
Do we need to
Yeah,
add
do
to
you want, should we make,
Yeah.
add that to the motion? All right.
to remove Corey Liner as well?
Please.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right, Nikki, did you make the motion?
Yes.
And Mark, you second?
Yep.
You have any concerns about amending that motion?
No, I would rather.
No.
All right, so the motion, just to be clear, motion number 4 now, has motion to authorize Matt Davis, County Auditor, to be added as a signer on First National Bank CDs, and to remove Cheryl Jones and Corey Liner as signers. Thank you for asking that.
Yeah, 'cause I thought we had already done that, but if not, then we definitely do remove both of them.
And Judge, I think on item number 2, we needed to remove that because that is gonna be a U.S. Marshals inmate.
Okay. Any objection to removing number 2? I think, just so that the members of the court are aware, there's some back and forth, I just saw it this morning, on this specific inmate for this specific agreement. There's some questions over, the contract needs to be directly with the U.S. Marshal Service and Fresenius and get us out of the middle. And so, any objection to removing number 2?
No.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
All right, so we do have a motion by Commissioner Fincannon, seconded by Commissioner Beecham to approve the consent agenda with number 2 removed and number 4 amended. Do we have any questions or comments on any of the items or the motion? All right, that motion is before us. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries 5-0. General business, item number 1, review and approve the regular bills for payment, verify payroll taxes have been filed, and authorize the county treasurer to disperse payroll and or bills within 72 hours by U.S. mail, FedEx, UPS, electronically, or be picked up and acknowledged by a ledger signature in the treasurer's office.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All right, we've got a motion by Commissioner Buchanan, seconded by Commissioner Beecham, to approve bills, for payment, verify payroll taxes have been filed, and authorize dispersal of payroll and or bills. Are there any questions or comments on the motion or the item? All right, that motion is before us. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries 5-0. Item number 2, discuss, consider, and or take action to approve and ratify the minutes of the October 28th, 2025 regular session and the October 31, 2025 special session. Morgan, did the change get made to them to the version of the amendment, the minutes? Okay, just so y'all, the original version, the motion that had a nay vote last week, just needed to indicate who voted how on that.
And electronic backup documentation
Reflects that. Okay.
So
Motion
moved.
approved.
Thank you, Beach. Second?
Second.
All right, we got a motion by Commissioner Mahler, seconded by Commissioner Beecham, to approve and ratify the minutes of both of those sessions. Do we have any questions or comments on the motion or the item? All right, that motion is before us. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries 5-0. Item number 3 is discuss, consider, and or take action on issuing a county burn ban. As y'all probably noticed, a lot of area counties have either had them on for some time or have started to. I had asked the Emergency Management Office to get with all the fire chiefs, get their input on this. And so Lynn is gonna come up and provide us the feedback from our volunteer fire departments for whether or not a burn ban makes sense at this time.
Morning, Judge, Commissioners. Just a little bit background before I tell you how we polled the chiefs. We're still abnormally dry for this area according to the Forest Service and the National Weather Service. And our KDVI is only averaging 467. So
Remind me what the threshold is.
the threshold for the average is 575.
Okay.
So, Dwayne and I polled volunteer fire chiefs, and the majority of them recommended we not do a burn ban at this time. They're good, we're considering it, but we believe that it'll give people still a chance to do some burning. And so far, the fires that we've had, whether they're grass fires or small fires, have been either electrical in nature and or roadside starts. They haven't been from any of the controlled burns. So that is our recommendation from the chiefs, is not to initiate a burn ban at this time.
Okay. You said majority.
The
What
majority.
was not unanimous this time, no?
There was one that said he was considering, but he could go either way.
Okay.
I know, I'm done with my burning yet either, so that's good.
We've been pretty consistent in the past going with the KVDI index
Yeah.
as the first indicator, so.
Yeah, we're still below that threshold, and the chiefs are all saying no. I think that's a pretty good indication that may, I'll go ahead and put this something to be considered again in another couple of weeks, but.
Yes, sir. We'd like to look at it. We're gonna talk to the chiefs again at the RFD meeting in November, which is next week.
Okay,
We'll pull them again and see what their feelings are.
okay.
The long-range weather forecast issued just yesterday did not look good. They're talking about a pretty sizable high-pressure ridge forming to the northwest of us. And when that happens, it's gonna block some of these cold fronts that we get. And we get rain because we have moist air coming up in the Gulf. And when you get that cold front coming in, that's when we get a rain, and that's not gonna happen. So I think it's something we're gonna wanna really, take a hard look at, probably week by week,
Yes,
because
sir.
we're gonna get dry pretty quick.
It's already starting to dry up. And you
And
can
we
tell.
do have, even though we didn't get below freezing officially, last week, it did freeze in the northern part of the county, because that Johnson grass is dead, and the Bermuda grass is dead. And the further north you go, the drier it is, so this is gonna be something to really keep an eye on.
Yes, sir.
And when you get those fall winds blowing, and if, especially if that ridge sets up, doesn't do here, it can get pretty tough pretty quick. So, glad we're looking at it anyway.
And we are looking at it. Dwayne and I are out driving the county, look where our fuels are at. There's a lot of fuel out there from people not raising cattle and plowing the fields, because it's still growing up.
A lot of fuel.
I think what we'll do then is put it on the agenda, not next week, the week after, because that'll be after the
RFD
meeting, and give them a couple of weeks to see what KBPI does and see what y'all's feedback is at that point.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
It's a wise move.
Yeah, all right. Any other questions or comments on that item? All right, no action taken on this item regarding the county burn ban at this time. Lynn, thank you.
Yes, sir.
All right, item number 4 is receive the second and third quarter investment report for 2025 from Stephen Jones, County Treasurer. Mr. Jones.
Sorry. Ever ongoing battle to try and make this thing understandable. I changed the format a little bit and the first page is just kind of at a glance look at some of the the things we most understand and ask about, and stuff that's required in our policy. So, the amount per instrument is basically just, is it an agency bond, is it a CD? We've got both right now. That could also be a look at the CDs or stuff that we've bought since I've come into office. And all the agency bonds are still stuff that was left to us by Bob. So we're still working through quite a bit of that. 17.5 million still left over in agency bonds, and that's all through Cetera. As those mature, we're cashing those in and putting them into other stuff. Moving away from Cetera still, 'cause we pay them commission and we'd rather just not do that. Amount by fund, we still have 2.7 million that's from reserved for self-insurance. The rest is all gen. And you can see what we've got per quarter that's maturing in a graph that shows that on there. We already did cash the 3 million that was due, or that came out on October 20th. And we put that into cash right now so we can pay our bills. Although here in a minute in the treasurer's report, we did get our first big check from tax money coming in. We got a 1.4 million check coming in. So that's going to make it so we can immediately reinvest instead of having to hold on to it with our fingers crossed, hoping we can pay our bills and our people.
Well, and I just want to be clear, when you say that there are plenty of funds, you're just talking
Yes.
about pulling from where it's invested in tax pool or class.
Yeah,
to
and that's
liquid.
one thing we talked last week. There was a talk about the cash or the balance, fund balance, and that does include the long-term investments. And on the second page is all the data that's required. We've got to send to it all the data for the investment policy. I managed to get it all in one spreadsheet, make it a little bit easier to see instead of having everything on its own spreadsheet with all the same data presented differently. I think it makes it a little bit easier to understand.
And I know, Stephen, this is something that y'all in the investment committee look at. Remind me what our goal maturity, average maturity is and where we are right now.
Okay, our weighted average maturity goal is 1.5, I believe. Is that right in policy?
So 18 months.
Yeah, 18 months. Right now, we're about, everything we have is less than 21 months.
Okay.
That's still include, the reason our weighted average maturity, I've got it at 1.21. I'm sure Mike can correct me if I'm wrong, because he's smarter than me. I believe that's where it is right now, 1.21.
Okay.
And it's that way because we still have that one big one, I call it the Chicxulub bond. It's like a big meteor waiting out there. That 4 million, that doesn't mature until,
Second quarter of 27.
yeah, June of 27. And everything in 27 was still agency bonds that we're trying to live out. Ideally, we would like that things mature, the curve on there to be opposite of what our cash balance in our accounts is. So that when our cash balance is low, we're getting stuff maturing, just to make sure we got everything covered. And after 26, we should be good on that, because a huge amount in 26 is gonna mature that has been waiting and is investments that none of us can really understand the plan before.
But, so the committee and y'all are looking at, you are trying to put those instruments maturing essentially around that August to October timeframe.
Yeah, the times when
so that-
we're cash poor
Okay.
as a county. We, like you said, we've always got fund balance, we can always pay our bills. We haven't come, as an accountant and a math nerd at heart, it scares the crap out of me when we get really, what I would call low. But we've never come to where we can't pay our bills.
Right.
We've always had plenty to pay our bills. I'm just,
You just
more,
might need
I'm
to
more
use-
conservative on that, and it scares me until we start getting those checks coming in. So having stuff mature at the same time is a check on that to make sure, double sure that we're never gonna be, able to pay our bills.
Just the logistics of moving money.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have it there, and if you look at the blue column, the gain and loss, all those agency bonds right now, if we were to cash them in right now, we could, but we wouldn't get our full dollar amount. So we're waiting for maturity so that we can get the full dollar amount. Unrealized is a accounting term that scares everybody that doesn't know accounting terms, because they speak their own language. But basically, if we were to trade it in now, we would lose money, but that's not the plan. We're not gonna lose the county's money.
Right.
By the time we get to maturity, that number is zero, so we get the full amount back.
This is the current book value.
Exactly, yes. The current value of it, if we sold it now, is lower than what it would be when we wait. And that's what it's designed for. It's designed so they can use that money for what they're using it for, and then we get it back at the end of the term. So, and all along the way, we've been accruing a lot of interest for it, so. Right now, we, on those agencies and others that are accruing interest, you can see for the third quarter, we've got up to about 5.1 million, I'm sorry, 530,000 of accrued interest. So we're earning money off of those, even though it seems like they're just holding on to our money. We do get checks in the third quarter. We got $31,000 in coupon checks coming in. So we do get some money along the way, and then we get the full value when we cash out.
And I know this report doesn't reflect it, but we park a lot of money in the pools.
We do, yes.
That's our liquid side. It's
Yes.
actually an investment, but it doesn't show up as an investment.
Right, because we can have access to it the same day on most of them, and then if we do wiring, cash wiring, there's usually a fee with that. But if otherwise, we can get it by the morning the next day.
And I guess that'll show in
In
the
the
next
next
report.
Yes.
that how
Yeah,
much
all
we
that's
have
still
in
on
the
there.
Pools.
And that is, right now, and like we've talked about in meetings, keeping that money in the pools keeps it liquid for us, but it's earning the same amount or more than it would in long-term investments, so. For now, yeah. They did just lower a little bit again, but, as of this morning, we were still at 4.5, I think, on those. So we're still earning really well on those, even though, the Fed did lower a little bit again, and they're still planning to, but as most of the investment advisors that I've talked to at different meetings and stuff, they don't know any more than we do about what's gonna happen right now. And they went to school for that. So, it's one of those deals that's based on history, and there's never been a history like what's going on right now, so.
When's y'all's next, committee meeting?
Should be in January.
We'll close out this quarter, so
Mhm.
we need one this quarter. So sometime
Yeah.
between now and the end of the year.
Yeah, cause that's what I thought you all had them every quarter to be able to.
Yeah, we should. I missed, because of illness and stuff, I missed calling one the last quarter.
Okay, so there will be one in this final quarter.
Yes,
25.
and then anyone who wants to go to in February, end of February, beginning of March, usually is the Investment Academy for beginners. I plan to go to that again because it's like seeing it as a beginner every time.
Just get it done.
And you get to learn from smart people.
It was interesting to me that the dollar tried to strengthen a little bit, and I didn't know what's driving that. Is it an improved trade deal, or?
I'd like to say it's improved trade.
Yeah. I was surprised to see it, because I wasn't, because of the turmoil that's going on right now, and all that
Yeah.
really kind of surprised me, but it was a little stronger.
I'm not a big economist fan, other than taking econ 1 and 2 in college. But it seems to me more like the economy at this point is like a living organism, and nobody really knows how it's going to react to things. It could be mad at us one day and like us the next, and it's hard to say.
You could be an economist or a meteorologist.
Yeah.
It's not great.
I think meteorology is probably easier.
It's not exactly a pure science either.
Yeah.
There are some.
And the economy is based on people's confidence in it, so it makes it really hard.
Yeah, and that's why it's strengthening, because right now
Yeah.
people are a little bit more confident in the way the United States is going.
Yeah, more people are more confident, and some people are less confident because they don't understand, and it's really just up to a bunch of people deciding things that nobody really knows what they're basing it on, so. We try to make the best decisions, and by our policy, we always try to be conservative and protect the county's money as our number one priority.
Well,
Our citizens' tax money, basically, so.
that's why, and that was sort of why I asked the question, and like the fact that y'all meet once a quarter just to things can change pretty quickly and.
Right, and then that's required at least once a quarter, and whenever we get stuff coming up and when we have things go on, we can always talk earlier than that. It's, hey,
Right.
we have this, and, one of the things that we talked about at the last committee meeting, and I'll put an agenda in the next couple of weeks, is about, including more banks in the area that we can purchase CDs from, or, other bonds or anything like that from, just so we have more options and can shop it around a little more. Um,
Okay.
so.
That's a good
Pool
deal.
market's not always gonna be there for us.
Right, exactly. The pool's doing great for us right now. If we can capitalize as much as we can right now, then we can have it later.
That's why I said, while this is technically correct, we still have a pretty sizable amount.
Yes,
Well, which
It's
will,
not actually technically invested, but it is.
yes.
which we'll see in this
Yeah,
next item.
report.
Yeah, basically, we put it in somebody else's hands to, as like a bank account, and they go out and they invest.
But we're drawing similar returns on it than our other investments, so,
You know, those are
Yeah,
actually
so-
much better.
Better.
yeah.
All right, any other questions or comments on investment report? All right, let's move to item number 5 then, which is receive the July, August, September 2025 Treasury Report from Stephen Jones,
And-
Treasurer.
I was expeditious on this one, so it's actually all the way through 1031.
Oh, okay, excellent, thank you.
Thank you.
And back to the investment numbers on, in all our bank accounts, I have it set up to where I've tracked, since I started, the day one started, I've got records of every check that we've sent out. So I know how much is outstanding in every account. After 3 years, there's still some old stuff in gin and jury. So I keep surplus in our accounts, so that we always have enough to cover checks. And I've always padded them with about a $500 surplus. For everything, except gin has always been higher and payroll has always been higher. But in the past month, I've lowered that surplus on the other accounts. Since I know to the penny how much we owe people in those accounts, and we get the list every week, so I can keep track of that. So that gives us more that we can put into money market, and it increases our investment or interest money that way. Another thing that is not on, well, it is actually on the next page for text pool, but Mike and Matt found out that, sorry, the auditor's office, Mike and Matt, figured out that we can move that LPPF money out of our bank account and put it into a text pool. I think that was it a rule change?
But it was a rule that we were just not using,
Okay,
yeah.
so I had been told at one point that it was against statute to keep it there because I had asked.
No,
So-
our consultant had advised that it could be moved.
Okay,
So we get to recognize the interest rate, interest off of that.
yes.
We recognize it in a custodial account.
Yeah.
The
Right.
county has no ownership of those
We
funds.
don't, we still don't have it.
Right.
No, it's not ours, but the nice thing about that, number one, is that it takes it out of our American National Bank accounts, which,
And it relieves them from having to.
exactly,
to
yes, they don't have to
secure-
collateralize it, so they
collateralize it,
like us a
yeah.
little bit better. Because that's a big meaty one, that's $26 million,
Yeah.
$27 million. And also, we were getting, I think, 1.5% on that one, and again, it's not our money, but we're getting 4.6 or 4.5, this is 4.6 from last month, on text pool. So they actually brought in $96,000 in interest into that account, and that money goes towards indigent care, right?
It does, but it goes towards the hospitals that provide that care.
Right.
We cannot use it for our
And
indigent healthcare program.
What,
Right,
how
but
do
it still
they,
goes to them.
how do they recognize, how does the state recognize the interest accrued that you're setting on that balance? I mean, I know they know what's reported to have been deposited to the fund, but how do they ever see, how would they ever call on that?
They can call on it from the annual report, but they
Oh.
tend to just call on the 6% that we build out to the hospitals.
Okay.
And even then, I mean, you're looking at $27 million that has just been sitting there for the majority of the year.
Right.
Yeah, I think the lowest I've seen the balance go down to is about 9. But either way, this money goes to help people in the area. It goes to the hospitals to help people in the area. So to me, if we can earn more interest money to help them do that, then that's worth us doing. And again, it improves our relationship with our banking partner by not having them have to collateralize $27 million.
And it didn't cost us.
And it doesn't cost us anything, yeah.
Right.
So thank you guys for figuring that out. I was excited when they told me that, so we were able to move it.
And what do we have, any large payments coming out of permanent improvement for the rest of the year? Or that are sizable really? So our balance, I mean,
So you will have some that has already been moved for ARPA, once the Burton project kicks off.
Okay.
That should really be it.
Security projects about the only thing we have open right now.
okay.
Yeah.
And most of that's coming out of the courthouse security
Yeah.
fund, not permanent improvement.
Okay.
Yeah, we sent about $1 million out of permanent improvement into the other projects. So that's all the stuff where you guys say, we're gonna spend this money on this with reimbursement from permanent improvement. That's where all that comes from.
Okay.
And that's what it's there for, so that's good. And we've got about $6 million left in ARPA, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Are we gonna be able, is it still 20 into 26 when we have to spend that?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, we're well on track, except for that 20 some odd cents.
Yeah,
I tried that.
maybe a Laffy Taffy or something like that. Are they still less than 20 cents?
2 dimes for what we get.
It
Yeah.
doesn't sound like they're gonna ask for that back, so that's good news.
That would
Good.
cost,
I'll write a check.
Yeah, the check would cost more than the 10 cents. Nice.
Oh, no, it's the federal government.
Yeah.
79 cents for the postage and you can have 20 cents. Total cash balance, we are right on curve. We're still below 23 because of the ARPA money not being in there that we've been spending along the way. October's up, the middle line, is up because we did get that one check in from tax. I don't think we got any of them in until November last year. So we're up a little bit, but it's still right on that curve, which is, again, as a math nerd, I love it when things fall on the right curve.
Well, it's a good indication too with the ARPA money continuing to deplete and the fact that
Mhm.
it's still in line. It's a good place to be.
Yeah. And again, going back to the investment report, that's the opposite of this curve is what we want our investment maturity to look like. So we're moving towards that as soon as we can actually use that agency bond money on stuff. Total interest across all the liquid accounts includes American National and our investment pools. You can see in 2026, or sorry, this is 25 still. In 2025, we've already brought in 2.1 million in interest. And then if you add in the stuff from our long-term investments, we're closing in on 3 million again. Last year, we were about 3.5, so with the 2 more months this year, we'll get close to that. I really didn't expect us to get very close to that. So I've been trying to be more aggressive about moving stuff into savings. That's the fun chart, because that's the money that we make from
Yeah.
something other than taxes and fines. Long-term debt, every payment's been made for this year, so we've got 83,866,850 left total principal and interest on our bond, LSC bond. And that's our only one right now still. We haven't, having already paid off TCCU at the beginning of the year.
And what that current bank balance for INS is what? Do we, now all payments are made for 2025, is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, so everything that's going into it right now is going in to pay 26, which is nice because we've got a payment in January.
It's about 1.1 million.
Yeah, and it's in work.
And but that payment comes relatively quick in the run
It
of the
does.
year,
Yeah, oh, that's right, it is March.
Yep.
March.
The TCCU one was in January, that's when it's going.
Yeah, it looks like just adding the American National Taxable and Class on debt service, it's 1.3
Yeah,
now.
So just a reminder that we're gonna have taxes come into that before that March payment.
oh, sure, yeah.
So it'll more than cover that, and we had also budgeted for a little bit of excess funds that have been previously accumulated from interest in the debt service. So there's more than enough funds in there and coming to cover next year's obligations.
Yeah, we should have more than enough to cover it by, or enough to cover it by May or so.
Yeah, that's something in the creation of the budget, worked really hard at, and making sure that we're gonna be in good shape.
Yeah, I had to have Mike sit down and explain that to me really well, because as a math person, I'm like, this doesn't make sense that we have to do that with the interest right now, because if we put that interest into our principal, then our payments would get lower and we'd pay less overall, but statutes say we can't do that, because statutes aren't written by math people.
So by the end of business next year, we'll have paid off all of our interest that we owe on the LEC.
We'll be down to
We'll
just
down to
paying what we
just-
paid, and we'll pay what we spent.
That's funny.
Finances are fun, right?
All right.
But we're getting there.
Yeah,
Anything else on that, Steve?
I don't believe so.
Okay. Any, other questions on treasury report, comments? All right, thanks, sir.
Thank you.
Only the federal government could have that good report.
They tend to use as many pages as possible. I think they must own stock in Xerox or something. Some of the
I mean,
ink.
you have to balance the budget, tends to push your hand on some things. All right, item number 6, discuss, consider, and or take action to authorize posting of invitation for bids for 4 generators and to rescind court order 25.0708.361. I'm not sure, Matt, did you put this one on the
Yes,
agenda,
sir.
or can you explain what we're doing?
Yes, so previously in July, we had discussed the generator grant that we are getting from Tatum. It is the acquisition of 4 generators, 3 for towers, 1 for the emergency management office. We had been advised that we could purchase those through an RFQ through the buy board, which is a co-op. We had went that route back in January. We had got everything submitted with a February 28th deadline. In March or April, we had reached out to the vendor, stated that we were gonna go with them and to proceed. So, got that approved in July, after we had went back and forth with them and got all that cleared up. And then, since that time, we have been advised by Tatum and Horn, that we are not able to use a co-op for those types of grants, for the federal grant, cause it goes through FEMA, and that we would need to do an RFP, or in this case, they requested it be considered as an IFB, which is invitation for bid. So now we are back to the drawing board. We're doing the invitation for bid on the 4 generators, and we will send those out, and then we will bring them to the court to take action on whenever we receive the bids here in 2
And
weeks.
what, Matt, what is the reason that the buy board, that a cooperative is not advantageous?
That's a great question.
Yeah, it is for the state, it's not for the federal. It does not meet their federal compliance requirements
Even if
for
it's
the
a
grant.
federal contract, co-op?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, I don't know that I totally disagree, because I priced a mower last week through the buy board, through a co-op, and they bid it without the co-op and saved me $1,500 on a $30,000 item. So it was cheaper to just have them bid it than it was go through the co-op, so there's times that happens, so I can see that.
We'll see what bids come back.
Well, and we have specifications for the size of each for
Yes, sir.
the 4? Okay. And we're not confined in any measures of the use of the generators that are being replaced. We can maneuver them how they need to be.
Correct, yeah.
So, okay, good.
And this court order is the authorization of co-op purchase court order, is that right?
This is rescinding the co-op purchase, and it is allowing us to post in the newspaper and on the county website for the invitation for bid.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All right, we have a motion by Commissioner Beecham, seconded by Commissioner Concanon, to authorize the posting of the invitation for bid, for bids for the 4 generators, and to rescind court order 25.0708.361. Any other questions or comments on the motion or the item? All right, that motion is before us. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries 5-0. All right, item number 7, discuss, consider, and or take action to align maximum salaries in department budgets for Department 495 and Department 640 to create a human services accounts payable manager position for both 2025 and 2026 budgets. Commissioner Beecham, is this your item?
Yes,
Okay.
yes it is. Kind of lay the foundation for this. Most counties our size have their bill pay mechanism for indigent health within their indigent health office. That's kind of best practice. It's something we've talked about for a while, and over the last couple of weeks, it's became more apparent as to why this is a good thing. We can take, for instance, this item on the consent agenda number 2, where we went out and have to sign an agreement with the kidney dialysis. What we envision this position to do is to go and seek our different vendors and suppliers across the area and go ahead and procure these services well in advance. So when we have a need that arises with our indigent health, we don't have to scramble and look for vendors and service providers. That's step 1 in this. Step 2 is, right now, the person who's been paying our bills in the auditor's office is going to be out extended for an extended period of time, which puts an undue burden on the auditor's office. So what we want to do is roll this position into kind of a different position. They'll not only pay the bills or prepare the bills for payment, the auditors will still audit the overall bills, but we'll get them prepared for payment. But it'll also give us that advocate, if you will, that will go out into the community, even outside of the community, and seek these different opportunities. So we're better prepared. Like, we had a problem over the last couple of weeks. We had numerous females in the jail that are pregnant and need OBGYN service. We simply don't have enough agreements to service all the needs, so.
So it's it's kind of doing 2 things. Number 1, it's handling accounts payable responsibilities
Right.
for indigent health, but then also sort of the business relationship manager
yes.
for the different physicians and providers that we have.
And to go get these, the agreements in place pre-need. So if we have another OBGYN problem, we don't have to get on the phone and call Childress and Lawton and everywhere else. We've already got an MOU between us that's already signed and everything. So if they have an availability, we can just go.
And this would be a half position or a full position?
It would be a full position. It would be paid for with the half position that currently exists in indigent, and with some of the vacant position money from auditor's office. So I'd like to set the salary as the same as the 2 positions in indigent already, which is around,
And what is 495 and 640?
it's indigent and auditor.
Okay.
So this would take a big burden off the auditor's office.
And today, Tana doesn't help us with that, securing of any of that?
No, sir.
I'm just having a little bit of trouble seeing what I'm trying to understand their actual job. It seems like we're creating a position to create some work.
No, the work's already there.
Yeah,
I'm just,
transferring it from the auditor's
They would be
office.
processing the claims, which, so right now, we process the claims, so we have to enter them in IHS, and then we have to, enter them into Munis. So what we would now have is they would enter the claims, we would review them in our office, then we'd enter them in Munis. So it would take out one side of the data entry.
How many claims are we talking about?
It's
It
a,
just
It's
depends.
a lot.
I mean, when we see those bills every week, that's typically
Significant.
3 pages of them are that.
Probably got about 40 or 50 right now that enter. And the
It's a
problem
data
is,
entry for 50 bills?
yeah, but the problem is that you don't have 50 bills, you have 50 claims, and of those, you could have 40 that are going to pay, or you could have 10. It depends on the denials and everything else that we get.
Yeah, you gotta go through and look and see if they've got all their correct referrals.
Mhm.
You gotta check with the providers to make sure those referrals were there. It's a little more complicated than just paying a
Yeah.
standard invoice from a vendor.
I can tell you from talking with Margaret over the past couple of years, it's been a huge amount added to her workload. To the point that it is detrimental to the auditor's office being able to do their stuff.
And we used to,
And I think it's a great idea.
up until Margaret took them over, we always had a person that was pretty much dedicated to that in the auditor's office. I'm just looking at it for the added benefit, because we do have these needs occur over and over again. And we see it on the agenda today, where if we had somebody that was proactive out in the community, taking care of that pre-need, then we can have much better outcomes. We're not waiting 3 or 4 weeks, scrambling, trying to find OBGYN service, which is exactly what's happened with our inmates. So we're out looking at every place in the region where we can send females to get OBGYN service. If we already had somebody that had negotiated those deals and had them prepared, then we don't have that problem.
So when this person is not doing data entry, are they working in the human services office also?
They'll be in the human services
That'll
office,
be-
which is,
Assistant with
we had a
the
half
things
position already for that.
Right.
So I'm just taking that half position that's already allocated to that office. Remember, we dropped that office from 6 to 2. So we're already at a bare bones in there as it is. So adding essentially a half position back to take on a much greater responsibility, I think we're gonna have a much better outcome. And we've already seen tremendous evidence of the work that they've done to make it more efficient and run better.
And it's, cause today it's 2.5 positions in indigent healthcare office. What you're asking to do is to move that to essentially 3.
3 positions.
And the money coming out of it for 26 is half of the positions coming out of 495.
For 2025 and for 2026, I am going to allocate $26,000 of unused auditor office budget, salary budget, to 640. And the position that we're talking about for the processor in my office has been vacant since May. It can remain vacant. Our accounts payable staff is okay, and it would just take off some from me and then eventually Margaret whenever she got here. But we have more than enough surplus in salaries and benefits categories to cover this transfer.
And I've got the printed one, I believe, earlier this year when we moved it from the 3 that was in the printed 25 to 2.5. We'll need to change the max salaries amount back to the full amount. And we haven't approved the max salaries for matrix yet for 26, so it'll just need to be included in that overall.
Yeah.
Yeah, with the note that says that this court order is the reason
Yeah.
why.
So, yeah, I'm just moving a half position from the auditor's office into this office to take on a much greater responsibility.
Okay. And the person, to Commissioner Finkhaven's point, this position will also be accredited or whatever it is to be able to.
They can, yeah,
do
they're gonna
everything
have to
that-
be, they're gonna
Okay.
have to go through all the same training, so Everyone that's paid bills before has gone through all the different training steps anyway, so they'll be trained to be the same as our other caseworkers, so.
Okay. It's a budget neutral change to just realign the responsibilities essentially to
Yeah.
the office that's doing it rather than have.
And
As a
actually build
portion
some
of what they're
enhancements.
doing.
Not just a budget neutral, but actually make it an enhanced position.
Yeah, it's not an additional employee, it's
No.
actually, neutral in that
Yeah.
respect.
Essentially, it's moving one position down from his office into that office.
Right.
And we're giving up the half position, if you wanna look at it that way.
All right, from an action standpoint then, Commissioner, we're talking about allocating 26,000 from 495 salaries and benefits to 640, and then aligning the max salary for position 3 in 640
With the other two
with the
caseworkers.
other two positions. We're allocating 26,000 and 26. We're allocating a pro rata
Right.
share in 25.
Yeah.
If we can get somebody hired before.
Mhm.
Okay. Other discussion, questions on on this item? I know we don't have a motion yet, but it's a lot of happening there, so
Yeah.
just making sure. All right, can we make a motion?
I make that motion to approve with the salaries matching the current caseworkers.
Okay.
What is that, Mark? What is that salary?
52.
Second, Judge.
All right, so what we've got is a motion by Commissioner Beecham, seconded by Commissioner Mahler, to allocate $26,000 from Department 495 to Department 640 for fiscal year 26 budget, and a pro rata portion, transfer of the same amount for the rest of fiscal year 25, as well as aligning the max salary for position 3 in Department 640 to match the amounts for positions 1 and 2 max salary. There's no need to do anything, for 2025, there's no need to do anything yet for 2026 for those max salaries, because we haven't approved them yet. All right, that's the motion. Questions or comments on the motion or the item? Okay, that motion is before us. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. That motion carries 5-0. All right, item number 8, receive update on courthouse renovations and county courthouse annexes. Commissioner Beecham.
We're just about, again, like I mentioned last week, just about at the end of the courthouse and annex security projects. We did take a pause this week. There was some confusion on who was responsible for rekeying and door cores. We got that ironed out with Digi. That's our responsibility to record the doors. So they'll be back. I don't know if they'll be back next week, but they'll be back finished. Then they'll start. We've asked for it to start at Owl Park next, get that done, because we've got offices that are improperly locked, et cetera, right now. 'Cause we don't have anything at this point. So going there and then across the street to juvenile. Been a great project, excellent to work with.
To be clear, at Owl Park, those are internal doors, not.
Oh,
external.
yeah, internal doors, yeah, it just. No, the external doors are locked, but we did, to be fair, we did have an instance where it was left unlocked all night because somebody failed to lock the doors.
Problem that won't happen.
Which won't happen once we get this, because they'll automatically set the lock after hours.
All right, any questions or comments on courthouse renovations or annex renovations?
Oh, they are painting the annex this week,
Okay,
or the Owl Park annex it is, not
the exterior,
the exterior.
Different color or same color?
It's the same color except for the trim,
it's gonna be green and white.
because brown does not last in the
What are we
sun.
doing on that? What are they doing on the trim?
The trim's gonna be green,
Green?
yeah.
Owl Park, baby.
Owl Park.
Go
Go Hawks.
There's
They are
green.
Is that,
Yes.
is that sprayed on, Mark? Is that an airless that they shoot
That's
that
right.
off?
I'm sure
Well,
they will, yeah.
There was actually a controversy
But
between
that
Kelly Green
color
and
does
the
not
Hunter
stay any
Green.
longer than brown.
okay.
Brown
It's
and
generational
green are in the
war
same
over that.
category. They stay the same, I'm sorry to say. Do lots
It-
of metal buildings,
Well,
they have the same
it-
duration.
I painted a lot
As a
of
brand.
both, and green will last a little longer than brown.
All right, anything else this morning? I'll just sit back and talk. All right, it is 10:56 and court is adjourned. Thank you, everyone.
What is that they used to say,